Hi there, I'm Kelly, the nurse practitioner at The Wellness Way. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about fatigue. Now, we all know what fatigue is, right? Are you feeling tired all of the time? Have you been able to figure out why? At The Wellness Way, we're really focused on finding out the causes of a symptom like fatigue. So when I think of fatigue, I think, man, that person is tired all the time. They don't have enough energy during the day to get through the things that they need to do on a daily basis. Maybe you're suffering with complete exhaustion, can barely even get out of bed. Or are you lethargic, having a hard time even waking up, opening your eyes in the morning? Your body, after having a night's sleep, is still exhausted. That's not good. That's not normal. Fatigue like that is a symptom. It's not a disease. So don't go ahead and take a bunch of caffeine or go take some magic pill or some energy drink to get you through the day, because that's not solving the issue. We need to figure out, what is the issue? What is this a symptom of? Well, there are lots and lots of possible causes. There are tons of diseases out there that may have fatigue associated with them. So when you come to The Wellness Way, we're going to talk to you about that. We're going to have a consultation. We're going to discuss all of the symptoms that you're having, and we're going to figure out, we're going to do a little bit of detective work to say, what direction should we go in here? Did you know that fatigue is so common? Actually, the experts say about 10% of people across the whole globe suffer from fatigue at any one time. If we narrow that down to just the United States, about 1 in 5 people suffer from fatigue that interrupts their daily life, their daily activities, getting up, making food to eat, doing the dishes, going to work, anything like that, that fatigue is interrupting that. Well, one thing that we can do at The Wellness Way is narrow it down into our 3 T's: toxins, trauma, and thoughts. Those are our buckets that we go into because we know some of your symptoms are going to fall into one of those 3 categories. A very common blood test that we'll do here is to order a thyroid panel with a vitamin D and ferritin levels. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about each of those. Gives us a wealth of knowledge and can help us then to tune in further what your issue may be for fatigue. Let's start with ferritin. If you haven't heard of ferritin before, it's similar to looking at your iron or your red blood cells in your blood. It is the iron storage protein in your blood. So ferritin gives us a very good indication how your blood count is. If that value of the ferritin is less than 12, you should actually go get a blood transfusion. That means your blood count is so low that you would benefit from getting blood. The range is actually huge. Normal would be somewhere between 12 and 300 for a man. They narrow it down a little bit for a woman, between 12 and 150. But when we take a look at that, that's a big range. And there's a big difference if you come back with a value of 20 compared to a value of 150. So a general guideline is, if it's less than 50, maybe less than 75, and you're having a lot of symptoms, you would benefit from increasing the greens in your diet, maybe taking chlorophyll, which is the blood of the plant, if you don't get enough greens, and thinking about some whole food iron to go with that. That will help boost up your ferritin levels. And then there's vitamin D. We all know that vitamin, right? It's actually not a vitamin. It's a hormone. It's our sunshine hormone. We get it from the sun. But I live in Wisconsin. I don't know where you live, but I only get enough sunshine 3 to 4 months out of the year. The rest of the time, the sun isn't high enough in the sky to penetrate my skin for my body to actually make that hormone. Did you know that vitamin D is actually essential for every cell in the body? So it's really important. It's been tied to the immune system, to getting infections, to inflammation, to depression. It can be tied to a lot of different symptoms like fatigue. So getting your vitamin D level checked is really important so it can be supplemented. In these states where we don't get enough sun during the winter, we may take 5,000 to 10,000 international units of vitamin D to keep our blood levels up. And then when we're in the summertime, we don't need as much, but we do know how important it is. And then lastly, the thyroid panel. So you may be thinking, I've already had that tested. They told me it was fine. But now I challenge you to go back and look at that result. Did they only test the TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone? That's the hormone that your pituitary gland makes. That's from your brain. It's not a hormone that your thyroid makes. The thyroid only makes 3 hormones, T3, T4, and reverse T3. And those are the things that need to be looked at. So in addition to the TSH, should never just have the TSH to determine if you have low thyroid or hyperactive thyroid associated with your symptom of fatigue. The T4, the body makes a lot of, the thyroid makes a lot of, but it's really a not very active form of your thyroid hormone. Remember, thyroid is responsible for the metabolism of your body. It really does give you energy if it's working properly. So our body makes a lot of T4, but it's not really active. It has to be converted in other areas of our body. The thyroid makes only a little bit of T3, but that's our super active form. So when the T4 goes to our liver, it converts it to that T3, and that's really important. So there's a whole panel of blood work that goes with evaluating your thyroid. Have you ever had the antibodies tested? There are 2 antibodies, TPO and TGB, that we commonly look at. And those tell us if maybe you have an autoimmune disease associated with that thyroid. And that's really important to know because we treat it just a little bit differently or target it a little bit differently to get that immune response to settle down. So I want you to make sure if you've had your thyroid checked, you're having symptoms of fatigue, that you've had that full panel, because the TSH doesn't tell us if the body is converting that T4. It doesn't tell us if the body is using those hormones in the right way or making enough of one or the other. So now you've been powered with knowledge to have a better understanding of some possible causes of fatigue. We've talked about ferritin levels, vitamin D levels, and some of the thyroid levels. So I hope you are feeling a little bit smarter today. I hope you ask your doctor or come to the Wellness Way so we can evaluate that with you and get rid of that fatigue.